It is Tuesday, the 10th of December, 2024. My name is Pigeon Rose, and this is my song of the day. You know, I don't think it's come up yet on this show, but when I was growing up, I played the Tony Hawk video games a lot. In particular, I played Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, 4, Underground, Underground 2, and Proving Ground. Those were all the ones we owned. And the soundtracks of those games are famously quite, groundbreaking for video game soundtracks. They're full of punk and ska and metal and hip-hop and all sorts of stuff that kind of expanded more in the later games. Underground 2 has, The Doors and Frank Sinatra in it, which is very strange considering the previous oeuvre. And then Proving Ground has some really good stuff in it as well, more kind of electronic-y stuff. There's a really good song on there by Block Party, which is not available to listen anywhere. But anyway, on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4, one of the songs is a song called Labor by Aesop Rock. And I enjoyed this song, but couldn't understand a fucking word he was saying, because Aesop Rock's voice is very specific, and when you're not tuned into it, it can be hard to understand what he's saying a bit. And then years later, I discovered him again because he made some music with Kimya Dawson. Now, if you know anything about that, you know that Kimya Dawson has said that he's a piece of shit, basically, written a song about the horrible things he's done. And Aesop Rock himself has admitted that he's not a great person. So that's fun. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about the song. By the way, I keep calling him Aesop Rock. His name is Ian Matthias Bavitz, but I'm going to call him Aesop Rock because it's easier. Or just Aesop. A lot of people call him Ace, and that feels weirdly familiar. Anyway, so he made music with Kimya Dawson, and I heard that, and I was like, oh, this is the guy from Tony Hawk. Oh, now I understand what he's saying. And then, I don't remember how I came across this song in particular, but the song we're talking about today is Kirby by Aesop Rock, and it's a song about his cat. So I would recommend watching the video for this one. The video is great. It has actual footage of the cat as well as a little puppet of Aesop Rock. It's very sweet. Anyway, let's go listen to it now and then come back in a few minutes and talk about it. And there it is. That's Kirby by Aesop Rock. As you can see in here, that was about his cat, Kirby. Apparently, a psychiatrist really did tell him to get a cat, and he did. He adopted a kitten. And this song is about that. And it's great. Pure and simple. I don't think I need to say anything else about it. I think we should just launch into talking about the lyrics. So the chorus is, hey Kirby, what you doing, Kirby, what you doing there? Hey Kirby, what you doing, Kirby, what you doing there? Very simple. You can just imagine him chilling, watching his cat fucking around and being like, what you doing? It seems like a very typical owner to pet conversation, you know? And then the first verse, hobgoblin, shots of hot strongid, vaccine queen, deemed church socks hostage, 9 weeks awesome, hides in a slipper, look in her eye like she might be a wizard, cold met a cat lady in a parking lot. She got the Heroes of Tomorrow in a cardboard box and probably hoarding 40 more in the corners of Fort Knox. Swapped 20 on the spot and copped the warlock. What I love about this song is that Aesop Rock has a very loquacious style. He uses a lot of complex wordplay and internal rhyme and stuff. And it's so fun to use that kind of complex songwriting to write a song about his cat. So hobgoblin, behaving like a hobgoblin, pretty self-explanatory. Although there's someone on Genius who wants to connect all of this to Marvel and DC comics because of Jack Kirby, which is hilarious to me. I mean, yeah, Aesop Rock has referenced comics, but hobgoblins exist outside of the hobgoblin. Anyway, shots of hot strongid. Strongid is a parasite treatment for several animals, so. And then the next bit saying vaccine queen. So, you know, kitten getting her shots, very simple. Deemed church socks hostage, so a pet messing with your good clothes, very typical behavior. 9 weeks awesome, hides in a slipper, so just very small. I enjoy that. Look in her eye like she might be a wizard, just like there being something magical to her. Cold met a cat lady in a parking lot. She got the Heroes of Tomorrow in a cardboard box. So, you know, he meets a random woman in the car park and she's got all these kittens in a cardboard box and he calls them the Heroes of Tomorrow. Now, that is a comic book reference, but also he's talking about how these cats will go on to save people, you know, like himself. I'm probably hoarding 40 more in the corners of Fort Knox. She probably has more at home. Swap 20 on the spot and cop the warlock. So he buys the one who has this magical look in its eyes. Back at the haunt, found God in the hamper. Briefs on her head playing Walking with a Panther. Good around misery and golden era samplers. Jeopardy and wheel at the heels of her handlers. Bet more than a pet to worship. It's an MD recommended sense of purpose. Here to bat around keys and the means to euphoria. Soon to be hailed the greatest of all warriors. So back at the haunt, back at his house, found God in the hamper. Presumably he's saying that the cat was in heaven rooting through his clothes in the hamper, you know? Briefs on her head playing Walking with a Panther. So apparently Walking with a Panther is an LL Cool J album. So, you know, Panther cat fits in. But apparently, according to Genius, there's a song called I'm the Type of Guy Lie, which is about a girl cheating on her boyfriend with LL Cool J, and he mentions leaving his drawers in the shared hamper, so that's probably why it's brought up here. Anyway, Good Around Misery and Golden Era samplers. So Good Around Misery, good at helping people not be sad. Golden Era is a type of incense. It's a brand of incense, and they do samplers, they do sample packs. I don't know why. I guess he's just saying that she likes the smell. Jeopardy and Wheel at the Heels of her handlers, so just hanging out while he's watching Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune. Bet, more than a pet to worship, it's an MD recommended sense of purpose. So he didn't just get this pet to have a cool pet, he got it because his doctor was like, maybe you should care for something. Here to bat around keys and the means to euphoria, soon to be hailed the greatest of all warriors. So just so much praise for this cat. We get the hook again. There is a line here in the background here that says, I'm not taking no shorts. At least that's what Genius says. I always heard it as I'm not taking my shots, but he just mentioned she's a vaccine queen, so I don't know what that line is supposed to be really. And then the last line of the chorus changes to, what you doing, Kirby? Why'd you eat that leaf? So, just wondering at the strange things your cat does. Then the second verse, homie don't fetch, only woke to stretch under a thought bubble rich with bowls of goldfish, skittish in the company of stranger danger, otherwise chase drawstrings, tails, and lasers, in a steel cage match with a maze of cables, brazen game face based on Azazel, oversized ears up, puke in the meow mix, shred a pair of earbuds, remedy his cowlick. So that first line, homie don't fetch, only woke to stretch, has been stuck in my head all day because I've been thinking about recording this episode. Homie don't fetch, only woke to stretch. It's a great line. Cats are not like dogs. They don't fetch and they sleep a lot. Only woke to stretch. Under a thought bubble rich with bowls of goldfish, just drinking about goldfish. Skittish in the company of stranger danger, also pretty self-explanatory. Otherwise chase drawstrings, tails, and lasers, things that cats famously do. In a steel cage match with a maze of cables. It's a great line, referring to having a wrestling match with a maze of cables. And then brazen game face based on Azazel. So Azazel, of course, famous fallen angel figure in certain mythologies. Also a DC character. Oversized ears up, puke in the Meow Mix. So Meow Mix, of course, is a brand of cat treats, and he's talking about her throwing up in it, of course. Shred a pair of earbuds, remedy his cowlick. So, she tears up earphones and she licks his hair. And then it goes on with a slurp sound thanks Curbs looking like a millie, keep an old man sharp, keep a cold chantilly. Spun plum dizzy in a frisky moment, never lands on her feet though, I think she's broken. Mouser in training, nap on the toaster, decorate her cubicle with dogs playing poker. 15 years taking prescriptions, now a shrink I don't know, maybe get a kitten. So the whole thing of she licks his hair and he says, thanks Curbs looking like a millie. Oh yeah, you really, is sarcastic, oh yeah, I look great because you licked my hair. Then keep an old man sharp, keep a cold chantilly. Chantilly is apparently whipped cream. I don't know what relevance this has. I guess the cat just likes eating the chantilly. Anyway, spun plum dizzy in a frisky moment, never lands on her feet though, I think she's broken. Just talking about kind of running around and spinning around, but doesn't land on her feet. Maybe there's just not high enough surfaces to jump from. And then we get Mouser in training. So a Mouser is of course someone who hunts mice, and you get cats to do that job. There's a royal Mouser, Nap on the toaster, of course. Decorate her cubicle with dogs playing poker. Dogs playing poker is such a great series of images. Go listen to the secretly incredibly fascinating episode about that if you want to know more about that. It's great. But it is very funny, the idea of a cat having a work cubicle with dogs playing poker stuck up. And then the final bit here, 15 years taking prescriptions, now a shrink I don't know, maybe get a kitten. I love the delivery there, but it's just the exasperation of I spent 15 years taking medication, and then the shrink is get a cat, and it's working. I don't know, maybe get a kitten. And the rest of the song is just the hook again. Love this song. Simple, cute, sweet, and gets stuck in my head an awful lot. I think that's pretty much all I have to say about this one. Thank you so much for listening. Please hit like, hit subscribe, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think. Tell other people about this show. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you tomorrow.
Break it down.